Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. So we're going to be doing a series on Analog in Your Pocket. Are you just happy to see me? And it's the end of June, wildly enough, so we're going to be doing the June Analogue Pocket News Roundup. Everything that came to Analogue Pocket in the month, all the new cores, all the new fun and updates, so you can make sure you're getting the best out of your Analogue Pocket experience. And while it hasn't been the biggest month of the year so far, it's been a ton of fun, and we're going to get into each and everything that came to the Pocket. Before we get far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. But off the top, my favorite thing of the month of June was getting Alien Storm from Hotego and his team on the Sega System 18. This is just an absolutely iconic arcade game, one of my favorites of all time from this generation of Sega. And it is working absolutely amazingly for a beta core on Pocket. Do be aware that you need to be a Patreon member of Hotego and have the beta key in the root directory of your microSD card before you run Pocket Updater, or else this core is not going to work for you. Usually these things see public release like 3 to 4 months after the final beta core is out there, so it is probably worth the like $3 to $4 a month to be able to experience this stuff early. Because Alien Storm is just so outstanding. It's half a beat 'em up, half a light gun game, half a shmup, giving you 150% based upon my own math. And it's just one of those things. This is an absolute Sega classic, and it's such a good game to play on the go on Analogue Pocket. And the implementation that we got here in beta form looks so incredibly good. Honestly, watching the footage, playing the game, and talking about it on the video I did for all of the System 18 games so far, I was not able to spot a single problem other than a slight misalignment here in the sprites. You'll see that middle row of speakers, the sprite is shifted over to the left, maybe like 5 or 6 pixels. Short of that, if I didn't point it out, you may never ever notice that was there, and honestly, that's so impressive for a first draft release. And I can't wait to see what else Hotego brings to the Analogue Pocket. I do these videos in advance, so it's possible he brought something like Moonwalker out on Friday. I air these on Sunday, but I record them Thursday evening, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And if that does happen, I'll do a video specifically on it, because it is one of the other best games on the platform. But honestly, if you haven't played Alien Storm yet, you're 100% missing out. Getting System 18 on the Pocket's been absolutely a ton of fun. And it isn't just Alien Storm, even if that is my favorite game. Obviously, Shadow Dancer is going to be here as well, and that's another classic from this arcade board. Granted, this game is available on Sega Genesis as well, and it's probably a better version there than the arcade original, but it's so much fun to get all of these games coming over to Pocket. We're getting a lot of Sega love in the month of June, and who would ever complain about that? But honestly, for my money, Alien Storm is the most exciting of the games that we got in June. It is just so much fun whether you're playing alone or with a friend, so definitely check it out. Now moving on to the CRT side of Analogue Pocket, a new innovation that I did a video on maybe 6 weeks ago, the Analogizer, hardware to say, an awesome product to own, has been getting more cores for it, because by default there needs to be specialized cores so that you can get the analog output as well as the snack and snacks control over to the core. Something like Super Nintendo has been working since I did the video, but each and every core is going to have to get this implementation before it is going to work on your CRT television. But the maker has been working with core developers to get more updates now, and as far as the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive is concerned, that's now going to go ahead and work on something like the Analogizer and your CRT television or your PVM. And obviously you definitely want a Sega Genesis core. It looks so good on a CRT television, and that's nothing to complain about. If you're sitting on the fence about whether or not this device is worth it and you have a CRT television, I can't recommend it enough. It just kind of broadens what you're able to do with the Analogue Pocket. Additionally, it's going to work with the IREM M92 core, and there's also some 6-button avenue controls in there now as well. And again, if you've never played IREM M92 or something like Ninja Baseball Batman, you're absolutely missing out. This came out in May. It was last month's news, but I'm going to tell you one more time to give it a shot. But I love seeing all these innovations with the CRT television and control front on Pocket. They've even been testing some JAMA implementations, so pretty much for right now you can actually play your Analogue Pocket in an arcade cabinet over JAMA with controls if you set it up correctly. Definitely something maybe only 5 to 10 of you out there in the world are even going to try to do, but it's great that the developers and engineers out there are giving us more options to do more things with Analogue Pocket, because obviously Analogue the company has not announced any support for the DAC as of now. Just be aware though that these cores are still coming out. They seem to be coming maybe like 2 or 3 a month, so it might be 6 months, it might be a year until you have all of the cores able to work with this adapter. But what we're getting so far is awesome, and you also get the Gauntlet core working as well, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Now, Atari System 1 is also here. I'm going to show you some glitch footage because depending on what year you have of Analogue Pocket, there's a little bit of a RAM issue and you have to install a different core to try to bypass it. It's awesome to get this port from MiSTer FPGA and the developers over there. I'll leave a link to that below. But it is going to be something that, depending on when your Pocket was made, you may or may not see glitches. So I want to show you what the glitches look like and explain to you how you can take care of them, which I'll do a little bit more in depth in a video when I review this next week. You'll see that suddenly there gets to be a little bit of graphical corruption on the screen in Indiana Jones here, and that's going to get more severe the longer we play the game. This has something to do with this RAM in the actual Pocket itself, because there was a newer variant, so that just needs to be planned for. It's totally fixable, and some games are going to show more or less corruption. Something like the Roadrunner here, you're going to see just a few stray pixels in the background, but I had no issues with it whatsoever. So it's awesome to get this core coming over to Analogue Pocket as a port from the MiSTer FPGA core from Alex. But otherwise, if you do see a few glitches, that's kind of to be expected, and I'm sure that fix will be pushed out wider, or you may never see a glitch whatsoever, just depending on when your Pocket was made. But the files are available on GitHub. It's just a copy and paste after you've done Updater, and it does work, but I'm assuming in the next week or so they'll probably be merged together so that everything works. And you'll see here in Road Blasters, it starts out looking decently enough, but you're going to start seeing these issues as well, and this just seems to be a problem with the RAM. That's why there's a different RAM variant core going on right now. This is what it would look like if your RAM was going bad on real hardware for the most part, so it's just one of those things that doesn't seem to be working right now. But don't forget, we also got Gauntlet and Gauntlet 2 is arcade cores in the month of June as well, and these are just some of the best Atari arcade games of this era in my opinion. And the best part is they are 4-player games as well, so this is the best thing to just load up the next game night you do, get 4 controllers going wirelessly into your dock, and just play this with 3 friends. Grab some beers, it's going to be a ton of fun. Again, this is another port from the MiSTer FPGA side of things, but it's so nice to see all of these ports coming over from MiSTer, and that's the best part about both MiSTer FPGA as well as Open FPGA, that all of the source code is open source, so anyone can go in and port these cores to different platforms. That's why you're seeing so much awesome stuff coming to Pocket lately. Work started on MiSTer and it moves over to Pocket, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. But again, some people just own a Pocket, some people just own a MiSTer, and some own both. Obviously, I am in the latter camp, having both devices as well. But you also get Gauntlet 2, which is a lesser known version of Gauntlet. I feel like when anybody's talking about Gauntlet, they are talking about the first game, but of course you get the second one here as well, so you get double your fun on the core, and that's never anything to complain about. And the fun part about Gauntlet 2 is it has some nice quality of life improvements, including being able to select what character you want, no matter what player you're playing as, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And in my playthroughs of these games, both for capture and just hanging out on the couch, these seem to work absolutely perfectly fine. I cannot find a single problem with any of these cores to basically tell you about. So this is the type of thing you can sit down and start playing it today. And it seems like we're just getting a lot of arcade love on Analogue Pocket in June, and that is definitely nothing I will ever complain about. I absolutely love arcade boards, collecting them, and I love arcade FPGA cores as well. So if you haven't played Gauntlet or Gauntlet 2 yet, definitely fire up your Analogue Pocket, run your updater of choice, and make sure you check both of them out. And speaking of arcade, of course we also got a Bionic Commando port to Analogue Pocket in June as well. So this is basically a very arcade heavy video, just with the news of the ability to use the Sega Genesis core with a CRT television or a PVM. So definitely update your Pockets, make sure you've got everything in there fresh, and start enjoying it. And remember, again, at least for the Sega 18 cores, you're going to need to be a Hotega beta member to be able to enjoy them. But everything else you've seen in this video, if you just run your updater, you're going to be able to enjoy today outside of the CRT and PVM cores, because obviously you need to buy the device for that to work in the first place. It has nothing to do with the functionality of the Pocket in and of itself. But honestly, getting a Bionic Commando core has been a ton of fun. Every single core we got this month in some way, shape, or form is an absolutely awesome experience. And like I said, if you want to play the Atari System 1, if you get that graphical glitching, just go over to the developer's GitHub. I'll leave a link below and just grab the new build with the RAM fix and give that a test. It should 100% resolve everything totally fine, although your mileage may definitely vary because I'm never quite sure. But that's everything that happened for Analogue Pocket in the month of June, and hopefully July is as fun as this. These are new videos doing kind of a monthly news roundup like I do with MiSTer FPGA, so I do depend on enough fun stuff happening to be able to do these videos, and thankfully for June, the community definitely delivered and we got a ton of fun. But short of that, leave me a comment down below, tell me what you've been playing on your Pocket. I'm curious to hear what everyone's favorite core is, and I might start doing a series of videos of best games to play on X core. If you're interested, let me know. Bye bye.